Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another very interesting panel at the Delphi Economic Forum. Today's topic is about funding. Today's topic is about liquidity and growth, and I'm very delighted and honored to be having a fireside chat with Mr. Dimitri Pankin, the president of the Black Sea Trade and Development Bank in Greece. Mr. Pankin, welcome to the Delphi Economic Forum.
Thank you, Dimitri.
I'm looking forward to a very, very interesting and fruitful discussion in the next 15 minutes.
Thank you.
So, to start right off the bat, I'd like to ask you about liquidity and the role of your bank. So, actually, we're living in a time of excess liquidity. We're living in a time where corporations and enterprises and projects have multiple avenues to funding. In these times, what are the goals and aims of the Black Sea Trade and Development Bank?
Thank you, Dimitris. I think this is a very interesting question. Again, this is a kind of challenge for all multilateral development banks now, because we are living now in the world of excess of liquidity. It's true. And if, for example, previous year, advantage of multilateral development bank was that we could provide, let's say, more cheap, more long-term funding. Now, this is a different question. You see, 4 major central banks issued $9 trillion new liquidity last year. This is an enormous amount. And major multilateral development bank provided about 200 billion, so incomparable figures. And all financial world is, let's say, overcrowded by this liquidity. What we see, what is the situation with the interest rate? Now it's Greece could borrow with negative interest rate. Who could believe in such story some years ago? And again, here, this is a big question. In this world, when company could borrow very cheap from the market, what's the role of a multilateral development bank? Do we really need this bank? Or it's better maybe to close all this institution and to go to kind of other area, to maybe to medicine or to software equipment. So big question. What I think in this changing role, we could play, multilateral development bank could play a role of, let's say, center of knowledge. Question is to prepare project, not to find money. Money is available, but to prepare bankable project, to provide feasibility study, to provide legal study, to understand all risks, to prepare all package that it's necessary to start project. This is the main issue and the main challenge for development institution.
So to become something more than a bank, rather than an entity that prepares and gives out a turnkey solution to the project, rather than only the money part of the project.
Exactly, exactly. So to be more like a reputable consulting company, a reputable advisor, but major difference if I compare, let's say, from per consultant and per advisor. What is a consultant? Nice job. I could provide you consultant, but not to take any risk. It will be your responsibility to take risk, and but I will have only fees, and will be very happy. But development bank, they need to take part of risk. Okay, let's take 5, 10, 15% risk on our balance sheet, and other to find other participants, other lenders for project.
And what about the Black Sea Trade and Development Bank in itself? How different, or are you in any ways different compared to a traditional development bank, especially during the pandemic crisis? What makes you different from, say, the Greek Development Bank or another development bank that exists either in a country or in a number of countries?
Yeah, thank you. Generally, we are more, our activities looks like EBRD, like EIB, more or less the same type of activity. But what kind of difference, what may be our comparative advantage? We are small. We are small. Okay, our balance sheet now is around 3 billion euro. It's not very small, but comparable to EIB or EBRD, it's small. But we are flexible. In that case, we could adjust our procedure, our requirement for client requirement. I think this is very important. And again, very important is that we could share knowledge between our member countries. It's difficult to find other institutions with such shareholders like our institution. Then we have Russia and Ukraine, Greece and Turkey. So, for example, our vice president banking is Turkish citizen, and he's responsible for lending in Greece, and it is normal. It is working. And again, maybe we are not so strict in requirement for procurement. For example, if you are working with the BRD or EIB, it is very strict requirement on procurement. We are more flexible. We could use national procurement standard and not only insist that it will be our own procurement standard. For example, other question is fossil fuels. Now for many multilateral development institutions, like coal is a dirty word. They are not financing any project linked with coal, with fossil fuels. But if we are looking our member countries, Greece, again, biggest problem, how to switch from coal to renewables. Yeah, Bulgaria, the same question. Ukraine, Russia. So coal is very important part of business in our countries. And we need to find solution how to modernize the economy, how to switch from coal to more, let's say, safe source of energy. And in that case, we are financing projects that have very good environmental standard and good environmental impact, but linked with coal, with other fossil fuels.
Okay, so I understand that you have a very important footprint, a very specific footprint in the regional area. But what about Greece in particular? Since we're having this forum in Greece right now, I would like to ask you what your footprint is in Greece, and at the same time, how do you aid companies, Greek companies, that are doing business in the other countries that you exist and you participate? You said at the beginning that you act as a quasi-consultant. Does that apply, and how does that apply to Greek companies that are trying to do business abroad?
You see, for Greece, I think last year we made very serious step, because if I take 5 years ago, our share of Greece in our portfolio was like 5%. It was very small, practically no loans in Greece. During last years, we provided a lot of new loans for Greek company. For example, our biggest loan in our portfolio, this is a loan for Greek PPC, public power company. Again, we have very interesting project in our pipeline, like 14 regional airport reconstruction for a port project. We are financing Hellenic Petroleum, Energean oil and gas company. So our portfolio now in Greece is like 16% of our total outstanding, and in figures, it's about 350, 400 million euros, so it's growing. But now question is very serious, because Greek company can borrow very cheaply. And for us, it's very difficult to find a new project in Greece, because again, company could borrow from the market. They don't need our money. That's why we are trying to find something interesting. Maybe it will be cross-border project. Maybe I could give you example. We are working with Prometheus gas company, and we are providing guarantee for Russian Gazprom. In that case, we are using our comparative advantage, because Russia is our shareholders and Gazprom take our guarantee. And instead of, for Prometheus previously, they used World Bank, JP Morgan, so rather complicated and very expensive scheme to provide guarantee for Gazprom. Now they are using our guarantee, and we are providing guarantee for Gazprom. So I think our future will be like a project like this, when several countries are linked in this project, and again to be involved in project preparation, consultation.
the examples you gave me are all at the top end of the market, if I might say. So a huge project where you participate in and you have a stake. Are you planning or even thinking about funding smaller scale projects, moving from the enterprise level to a medium level business?
Yeah, you see, again, what we have, what kind of request we have from our countries, from our governments, that we should provide money for SMEs. We need to find a way how to work with SMEs. Again, for our institution, we have only one headquarter in Thessaloniki. We have no branch, no retail network. That's why to work directly with SMEs is rather difficult for us. Now we are discussing and we are preparing project in Bulgaria, and I think this experience could be replicated in other European Union countries like Greece. In that case, we are working with commercial bank and we are providing guarantee for commercial bank. So commercial bank are providing loan for SMEs, and we are providing guarantee on this whole bulk of loans, whole portfolio. We are not providing individual guarantee for each, let's say, each small loan, but we are providing guarantee for whole portfolio. In that case, we are analyzing not individual feature of project, but we are analyzing more like system of the bank, how bank is working with this portfolio, what is the risk requirement of this particular bank, what's the system of monitoring in that bank, and according of this analysis, according of the risk, we are providing guarantee for this commercial bank. And I think this experience could be replicated here.
And I understand that. So that's something that can happen, most probably will happen in the future, in the near future in Greece. So another topic I'd like to raise is ESG financing. We see that it's more of a trend. It's something that's coming like a storm into the market, and it already plays a major role in the economy and in the banking financing sector. So what are your plans in this direction, and how can a development bank like yours be a catalyst in ESG financing?
Yeah, thank you, Dimitris. I think ECG financing now, it's like a fashion. It's just not polite to be a development bank and not to work with ECG project. And of course, we are doing the same. And last year, we issued 2 ECG bonds, and we placed these bonds in the market. And we are using this money in order to finance our project with environmental impact, like renewable energy project in many member countries like Ukraine, Turkey, Bulgaria. We have a lot of renewable projects. And again, some project with good environmental impact in Russia, in Romania. So this area is very active, and of course, we could use our consultant experience, our technical assistant fund that we started last year in our bank, and this fund will be used especially for ECG project preparation. But I think, again, this is a kind of question for development bank. We could finance a bankable project, and it maybe will be dangerous to overestimate the role of development bank in environmental finance. I think biggest challenge, biggest question is for government. Government should set standard for environmental standard, and in that case, bank will follow the standard. Because otherwise, again, it is now no big difference between multilateral development bank and commercial bank. Everybody like renewables, and everybody, as we discussed, like to finance renewable energy projects.
So you think it's like a 2-step approach. First, you need to set a framework, and then the banks can come in and do their jobs and do the financing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Find correct consultant, find how to prepare good research, good legal study, and then arrange a financial scheme.
Okay, Mr. Pankin, thank you very much for the wonderful speech. My understanding, and if I am to do some closing remarks on this one, I would accept and I would take into account the fact that the excess liquidity is here and the banks need to transform, and what Mr. Pankin said at the beginning about the bank becoming more than just a lender, but rather becoming a consultant, a turnkey, a solution institution that helps companies and takes them by the hand from the very beginning to the end, which is the actual financing. And that, in my opinion, is the future of banking, especially in terms of a development bank. Once again, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dimitris. Thank you.